Couples find it difficult to tolerate the intense scrutiny, hectic schedules, and public strain that Hollywood partnerships often encounter. However, several famous couples have defied expectations by being together despite career changes, difficulties in the public eye, and personal hardships. Wondering who these motivational pairs are? Here are 13 real-life wives of celebrities who have maintained their marriage, demonstrating that genuine devotion can last even in the public eye. Harrison Ford and Calista Flockhart. Actor James Marsden reportedly assisted A-lister Harrison Ford in courting Calista Flockhart. They're still together 16 years after they met over dinner with Marsden. In any case, Flockhart was already in her 30s by the time they became severe, so it didn't matter if they were 23 years apart. But they took their time courting for 7 years before getting married in 2010. With their son, Liam Flockhart's adoption, they've added him to their family. Liam is 18 years old now. Tom Hanks and Rita Wilson. Rita Wilson and Tom Hanks first crossed paths amid challenging circumstances. Tom was unhappy in his marriage, and Rita was engaged, but they had to make a tough choice because of the passion that erupted between them while volunteers were being filmed. They were married in 1988 after divorcing their respective spouses. Given that they've been together for almost 30 years, we can be very confident that neither of them regrets being married. They've amassed a substantial wealth, estimated at $450 million. It was revealed in September 2019 that Hanks will receive the Golden Globes Lifetime Achievement Award. William Shatner and Elizabeth Shatner. For many years, William Shatner relied on his position as Captain Kirk in the Star Trek movie series to generate income. At one time, his work stopped, but he recovered. His personal life also followed a similar course, and before he ultimately met the love of his life, he went down the aisle 4 times. In 2001, William and Elizabeth tied the knot in a ceremony held in Lebanon. In hindsight, sadness drew them together, and they've been married for 18 years. Elizabeth had lost a spouse in 1997, but both had lost a loved one. In 1999, Shatner lost his 4th wife after an unintentional drowning. Lee Majors and Faith Majors. You've likely seen Lee Majors in a film or television program. You may have even enjoyed Lee's outstanding portrayal of Colonel Steve Austin in the 1970s television series The $6 Million Man. Majors is a legend who continues to take on parts at the age of 80. Majors' current marriage to Faith Cross began in 2002, and he's been married 4 times. They've now spent 17 years together, loving and living. Cross is now the stepmother to her husband's 2 children from his 1st and 3rd marriages, and she took on his last name. Alan Alda and Arlene Alda. When Alan Alda was still a struggling actor, he met Arlene Weiss, who was honing her many talents as a skilled photographer, musician, and novelist. They have a family of 3 daughters and 8 grandchildren after an incredible 62 years. Alan's big break was MASH, and he tried to maintain his personal and professional lives while commuting daily from his home in New Jersey to Los Angeles. According to Alda, who spoke to Closer Weekly, Arlene believes that a short memory is the key to a long marriage. Phoebe Cates and Kevin Klein. Phoebe Cates was a very well-known singer and actress in the 1980s. She starred in timeless favorites like Gremlins and Fast Times at Ridgemont High. In 1983, she went to an audition where she met Kevin Klein, her partner. They're still blissfully married 16 years later, proving that their 16-year age difference has endured. With their 2 children, the couple made Manhattan their home. Greta, their daughter, is also rapidly becoming well-known after appearing in a movie with her famous parents. Dr. Phil and Robin McGraw. Dr. Phil and his spouse, Robin McGraw, had the good fortune to commemorate their 23 years of marriage in 2019. They're overjoyed to have 2 sons and 2 grandchildren in their family. Robin McGraw revealed the key to their enduring marriage to People magazine at their 40-year anniversary celebration in 2016. According to her, it all started when they spoke about their goals for the future when they first met in their late teens. They discussed their expectations for that phase of their life, and marriage was a significant topic of discussion. It seems successful since they've followed their pledge to meet each other's needs. Salma Hayek and FrancoisHenri Pinault. Salma Hayek, a Hollywood celebrity, and Francois Pinault, a French fashion billionaire, exchanged vows in 2009. When supermodel Linda Evangelista claimed to have been pregnant by Pinault, their relationship caused a great deal of controversy. They managed to sort things out in private, despite his denial that he was the father of her kid. 10 years later, they remained steadfast in raising their daughter, Valentina, despite the difficult times. Hayek clarified that her marriage to Pinault and the arrival of her daughter in her late 30s occurred at the ideal moment. Perhaps the key to their enduring relationship was that she was old enough to manage everything. Britney Spears and Sam Asghari. Actor Sam Asghari, who starred in Can You Keep a Secret, is the endearing man who captured the heart of Britney Spears, the American princess of pop. After Asghari was cast as an extra in Britney's Slumber Party music video in 2016, the two quickly became friends. In September 2019, the pair announced their engagement. In April 2022, the couple announced they had a third child. The singer already has 2 children with her ex-husband, Kevin Federline. On social media, Asghari and Britney refer to one another as husband and wife, and we predict that the charming pair will exchange vows in less than a year. Hugh Jackman and Deborah Lee Furness. One of the most prosperous performers of his age is Hugh Jackman. He's appeared in several movies and is most known for playing Wolverine in the X-Men series. Before he became a global celebrity, he met Deborah Lee Furness, his wife. Over 20 years ago, their love grew on the set of an Australian program. When they first met, Deborah was surprisingly more famous than her husband. Just 4 months after they began dating, they made their engagement public. They've now grown their family, and Jackman has become a household name in the entertainment business. Their combined wealth is believed to be $160 million. Tucker Carlson and Susan Andrews. One of the most amazing relationships is that between Tucker Carlson and his wife. Since they were 15 years old, Tucker and his spouse, Susan Andrews, had been acquainted. Together, they attended a school where Susan's father was headmaster. Soon after they started dating, they decided to be married in 1991 after years of fostering a romance. The couple has 1 son and 3 daughters together. Tucker provides the family's income, but Susan prefers to be a stay-at-home mom since she believes raising their kids in her constant presence would be more straightforward. Kevin James and Stephana de la Cruz. Kevin James' real-life love story is much happier than the one he played in the popular television series Kevin Can Wait, when the producers surprisingly decided to fire the protagonist's wife. Stephana de la Cruz has married James for 13 years. He is her only spouse. Her roles in Paul Blart Mall Cop 1 and 2 and Zookeeper, 2 of her husband's most well-known movies, have made de la Cruz famous. Additionally, she's appeared in several King of Queens episodes. Guy Fieri and Lori Fieri. As the mayor of Flavortown, as he's sometimes called, Guy Fieri is no stranger to the culinary world and has the recipe for almost everything. What else does he excel in? Some of you may be wondering. His wife says flirting is the solution. When they first met, Fieri used her stomach to win his wife's affection in the most remarkable manner he knew how. Lori finally fell in love with him after falling in love with his food. Since their 1995 marriage, the couple has remained inseparable. The couple currently resides in Santa Rosa, California with their 2 kids. Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn. Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell have been together for more than 30 years. They seem to be entirely happy despite never having been legally married. They've started prosperous professions together and brought up a lovely family. In September 2019, their son Wyatt got married. In addition, Goldie's daughter, fellow actress Kate Hudson, had significantly benefited from Russell's role as her stepfather. After long days of shooting, the couple can relax in their gorgeous home, which has brought them a wealth of $130 million. They worked together on a project called The Christmas Chronicles in 2018. Oprah Winfrey and Stedman Graham. Oprah Winfrey and Stedman Graham have been together for more than 3 decades. They do not, however, intend to get married. Oprah claims that marriage would not be possible because of their unconventional relationship. Their choice seemed to be an excellent match for their partnership. Although Stedman has succeeded as a writer and entrepreneur, Oprah introduces the concept of billion. Oprah is among the wealthiest women in the world because of her talk show, network, and books. She overcame a frightening episode of pneumonia in 2019. Pierce Brosnan and Keely Shea Smith. The always dashing Pierce Brosnan became well-known after playing the ladies' man James Bond. His wife, Keely Shea Smith, is the one woman who has his heart. 7 years after meeting at a party in Cabo San Lucas in 1994, they were getting married. According to Pierce, spending quality time together is essential to their success. He disclosed that they recently took a road trip to Santa Barbara to escape and enjoy some excellent wine. Together, the couple has 2 kids. Pierce was featured in Mamma Mia, which came out in 2018. Let's do it again. Garth Brooks and Trisha Yearwood. The country stars Garth Brooks and Trisha Yearwood have been blissfully wed since 2005. The vocalists were united by their love of country music. Both of them were struggling artists when they first met in 1987. After years of dating, Brooks asked Yearwood to marry him in front of a throng of Bakersfield, California's Crystal Palace in 2005. Yearwood was ecstatic, said yes, and was married before their family at their home in Oklahoma. Outside of Nashville's music industry, the pair also encourages one another in their interests. Brooks supports his wife via her Food Network program, Trisha's Southern Kitchen, while he devotes all of his attention to his music. Her program received a Daytime Emmy for Outstanding Culinary Program a few years ago. Meryl Streep and Don Gummer. One of the best actors in the world is Meryl Streep. Her outstanding efforts have earned her several accolades. The Panama Papers controversy is the subject of her most recent attempt. It's called The Laundromat and combines financial education with humor. The series is available on Netflix. For more than 40 years, Meryl has been married to the gifted sculptor Don Gummer. Together, they have almost $100 million, and Gummer is well regarded in his industry. After only 6 months of dating, they were married. And now, 40 years later, with 4 children, they seem extremely happy. Julia Roberts and Daniel Moder. In 2000, Julia Roberts was working on The Mexican set when she found her love. 2 years later, she married cameraman Danny Moder, with whom she had fallen deeply in love. She still looks to him for solace even after 19 incredible years have passed. The couple is more motivated to improve their relationship with their 3 children in the picture. Among the most attractive female celebrities is Julia Roberts. She's kept her young appearance since she first appeared on the scene. Despite being 51, she seems 10 years younger. Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively. Recently, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds welcomed their 3rd child into the world. They discreetly welcomed their kids some time ago after getting married in 2012, according to U.S. media. The 42-year-old Ryan often posts videos promoting his film Free Guy on Instagram. With 2 adorable children, James and Inez, Ryan and Blake never pass up a chance to make fun of one another. In front of their loved ones, the couple exchanged vows at Mount Pleasant. For their December 2010 split, Ryan was married to Scarlett Johansson for 2 years. Magic Johnson and Cookie Johnson. On the court, Magic Johnson, whose actual name is Irving Jr., has seen many highs and lows. He's won 3 MVP awards and 5 championships, but those things cannot be removed. Magic Johnson has only been married once, like many other well-known sportsmen. He's been blissfully wed to Erlitha Cookie Johnson for over 30 years. Cookie once said that her moniker became so ingrained in her personality that she eventually forgot her name. They have 2 kids and reside in California, where Magic worked most of his career. Larry Bird and Dinah Mattingly. The Boston Celtics are indebted to Larry Bird, who is known for his basketball skills, for his efforts while wearing the now-retired number 33 jersey. The former coach has been blissfully married for the last 30 years. Bird was married for a year before he met his present wife, Dinah Mattingly, and the marriage terminated in 1977. Thankfully, Dinah was the one for him, and the two have been together since 1989. We hope they'll tell us the secret to their happy marriage one day. Jon Stewart and Tracy McShane. Although not everyone enjoys blind dates, Jon Stewart and Tracy McShane are live examples of how they may be successful. Despite her initial reluctance, Tracy agreed to go to the Mexican restaurant that friends had arranged for them to meet, and they clicked. After being married in the year 2000, they worked together to raise their 2 kids, one of whom suffered a kidney blockage. Additionally, they've advocated for animal rights, even purchasing a property to use as a sanctuary. Ron Howard and Cheryl Howard. Since marriage in 1975, Ron Howard and Cheryl Alley Howard have had a solid and long-lasting partnership. After meeting in high school, the pair fell in love right away. Ron often attributes his life's stability to Cheryl, particularly considering the demanding nature of his Hollywood work. They've raised 4 children together and have remained a strong couple despite the demands of celebrity and Ron's hectic schedule as an actor and director. Ron has often praised Cheryl's support and mutual respect, which he believes are critical to the durability of his marriage. Their love story has become one of the few instances of enduring romance in the entertainment world. Tim Allen and Jane Hayduke. The comedic legend Tim Allen was previously wed to Laura Diebel, with whom he had a daughter. Unfortunately, the marriage did not endure, and his work preceded his personal life. He's been married to actress Jane Hayduke for 14 years and is committed to keeping their relationship going. Elizabeth, Allen and Hayduke's first child, was born in the year 2009. He may not like tea parties, but he would still participate in the experience. The 67-year-old, who is about to launch a reality program called Assembly Required, has found a balance between his business and family. Eddie Murphy and Paige Butcher. Since the early 1980s, Eddie Murphy, a well-known actor, comedian, and author, has been appearing on large and small screens. He had several romances over his career, including one formal marriage, and is placed 10th among comics on Comedy Central's list. He began dating Australian actress and model Paige Butcher in 2012, and they're now happy parents to 2 kids. Additionally, the pair is engaged and is anticipating to be married shortly. Murphy created and starred in the comedy Coming to America. Melissa Gilbert and Timothy Busfield. Actress Melissa Gilbert has been the target of Timothy Busfield's long-term courtship, and his perseverance paid off. The pair is much in love and just celebrated 7 years of marriage. Gilbert is renowned for her part in Little House on the Prairie, while Busfield is an actor and director. About his wife, Busfield often calls himself the luckiest man on earth. Conan O'Brien and Lisa Powell. Like Conan O'Brien, several celebrities have found love outside the entertainment business. In 2000, his program introduced him to Elizabeth Ann, or Lisa Powell, who'd previously worked as a senior copywriter at Foote, Cone & Belding. Her beauty instantly captured O'Brien's attention, and he began to believe in love at first sight. They married in 2002 after pursuing her, and they have 2 kids, Beckett and Neve. As of 2021, O'Brien is getting ready for the June finale of his TBS program. Maggie Gyllenhaal and Peter Sarsgaard. In 2009, Peter Sarsgaard married his buddy, Jake Gyllenhaal's sister, solidifying their longtime connection. Jake brought Sarsgaard and Maggie Gyllenhaal together, and he proposed to her in 2006. After 10 years of marriage, they now have 2 children and a family of 4. Although Sarsgaard switched to a vegan diet, he sometimes makes meat meals for his family. Even with their hectic schedules, they always make time for their girls, giving the paparazzi photo ops as they travel across Manhattan. Dennis Miller and Carolyn Espley. Dennis Miller gained experience on Saturday Night Live and went on to host shows on CNBC and HBO. When Miller covered a variety of subjects such as politics and current affairs, he even had the chance to host his radio program. His relationship with Carolyn Espley has endured for 31 years due to his accomplishments. The couple always strive for their happy ever after in Santa Barbara, and they now have 2 boys. Miller's $30 million wealth, which enables his family to live in luxury, results from his profits. Kathy Ireland and Greg Olson. Kathy Ireland, a model turned businesswoman, has been married to her beloved husband Greg Olson, a doctor, for 31 years. Greg and Kathy both place high importance on their religious convictions since they recognize that they are the cornerstone of their marriage. When their 3 children arrived, Kathy discovered she was putting her health last while seeming to give them her whole attention. She became a victim of an unhealthy way of living. She was fortunate to have Olson by her side, who acted as her motivator as she sought to improve her health. Rob Lowe and Cheryl Burkhoff. At 55, Rob Lowe, a hottie in the 1980s, maintains his superb looks. The fortunate lady who ended up with him was Cheryl Burkhoff. They first crossed paths on a blind date in 1983, but didn't begin dating until 1988 when they got back together to shoot Bad Influence. They were formally proclaimed husband and wife in 1991. A leaked audio that was made public in 1989 caused Lowe to cope with bad press and harm his image. Thankfully, Burkhoff was not deterred by the negative publicity and was able to bounce back. The Lowe Files is a reality program that chronicled their life, including their children, John and Edward. Ellen DeGeneres and Portia de Rossi. Viewers have had the chance to observe the relationship between Ellen DeGeneres and Portia de Rossi, one of the most well-known same-sex couples in America, on multiple episodes of Ellen, the Ellen DeGeneres Show. Ellen is a famous talk show host, TV writer, and film producer. She was responsible for the documentary Endangered and the TV series Family Game Fight in 2021. In 1997, Ellen came out as homosexual in public. In 2004, she started dating DeRossi, and 4 years later, they were married. Ellen was dating American actress Anne Heche before meeting DeRossi. Mark Harmon and Pam Dauber. For the last 10 years, Mark Harmon has appeared in the popular television series NCIS. His role in the critically praised Freaky Friday is another reason for his notoriety. For all these years, he's been married to Pam Dauber. They first connected on the set of My Sister Sam, in which Pam played the lead. Harmon and Dauber have a $100 million wealth and have been married for 32 years. To live a quieter life and devote more time to their 2 children, Pam left the limelight. She has nonetheless sometimes appeared, for example, in The Odd Couple. Jamie Lee Curtis and Christopher Guest. Some romances are just too fantastic to be true. Actress Jamie Lee Curtis initially saw Christopher Guest in a magazine. She knew he was the one then and there, but it took them many months to finally meet in person. They were heading down the aisle 6 months after they had met. For over 35 years, Curtis and Guest have been together. Curtis's parts in classic movies like The Princess Bride have made her famous. In addition to being an actor, Guest has succeeded as a filmmaker. The sum of their profits is $65 million. Keith Richards and Patty Hansen. After starting her modeling career, Patty Hansen rose to fame in the 1970s. When she was first found, she was only 14 years old. She appeared in 3 movies after a successful modeling career. In 1983, Patty wed Keith Richards. After welcoming 2 children, Theodora and Alexandra, the pair have remained together since marrying on Richards' 40th birthday. Richards is a member of the legendary band The Rolling Stones and a well-known musician worldwide. The $340 million fortune they've amassed is the product of Richards' many royalties. Ozzy and Sharon Osbourne. Through thick and thin, this Hollywood pair has remained together. They now lead a much more restrained lifestyle than they did in the early years of their marriage. In September 2019, it was revealed that Ozzy, a member of the legendary Black Sabbath, has been dealing with health problems. Sharon has remained at his side as they hope and strive for his recovery. An estimated $220 million is the two's impressive wealth. After the popularity of Ozzy's latest track, Take What You Want, which he recorded with Post Malone, this is anticipated to rise. Sarah Jessica Parker and Matthew Broderick. One of the most powerful couples in Hollywood is, without a doubt, Matthew Broderick and Sarah Jessica Parker. Parker's portrayal as fashion expert and writer Carrie Bradshaw on the television program Sex and the City made her a global celebrity. However, Broderick became well known for his part in Ferris Bueller's Day Off. They decided to get married in 1997 after dating for 6 years. They have twins and have been married for more than 20 years. Given all of their accomplishments, it's hardly surprising that Parker and Broderick have a combined wealth of $250 million. Together, the two will appear in the Broadway production of Plaza Suite. Jada Pinkett Smith and Will Smith. The pressures of celebrity have not affected the famous pair. Will Smith's performance in the comedy series The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air made him a global celebrity. He's now become one of Hollywood's most honored performers. Among the many productions in which Jada has starred is the television series Gotham. After 20 years of marriage, Will and Jada have 2 kids, Jaden and Willow. They've amassed a wealth of $400 million from their prosperous professions. Since Will is also a massive Instagram star, we can see him in his element daily, while Jada hosts the Red Table Talk program. Michelle Pfeiffer and David E. Kelley. Writing may bring in a lot of money. Ask David E. Kelley, whose salary accounts for most of this couple's wealth. He and his spouse, Michelle Pfeiffer, are worth $330 million. We've all heard of the programs that David has written and produced, even if his face is not as well known as Pfeiffer's. Boston Legal and Ally McBeal are just 2 of the popular TV series that David has produced. Big Little Lies on HBO was one of his most recent endeavors. Pfeiffer is a well-known actress. Production on her next film, French Exit, is scheduled to start before the end of 2019. Kelly Preston and John Travolta. John Travolta and Kelly Preston met at a difficult period. After divorcing Kevin Gage, Preston dated other individuals, but fell in love from the moment Travolta laid eyes on her. More than 20 years have passed since he decided to ask her to marry him after they started dating. Jet, Ella, and Benjamin are the 3 children of Kelly and John. Jet's untimely death in 2009 was devastating to the family, but they stood by one another throughout this experience. John and his wife had a combined fortune of $190 million, and John remained one of the most successful performers in the business even after Kelly's passing. Bono and Allie Hewson. Allie Hewson and Bono first crossed paths as youngsters. They decided to announce their relationship after formally dating for 6 years. They've been married for 37 years and have 4 children together. Elijah, one of their kids, seems to follow in his father's footsteps by pursuing opportunities in the music business. Conversely, Allie is a well-known campaigner. Anti-nuclear causes are among the primary subjects she's addressed. EDUN, an ethical fashion company, is one of Allie's other endeavors. This power couple is reported to be worth $705 million. Jay Leno and Mavis Leno. Although Jay Leno is well known for his love of automobiles, he is as committed to his wife Mavis, whom he's been married to for 40 years. Leno's performance at the Comedy Store in 1976 was the first time the two met. In 1980, a few friends attended their little wedding ceremony. When asked what the key to a good marriage is, Leno told the Wall Street Journal that he suggests marrying the one person he's always wished to be. He said disagreements are never worthwhile, and this is among the most significant things he's discovered in his relationship.